Hey everyone, in today's video we're going to be giving you guys a really cool visual representation of how herd management works. I thought this was a really cool way of showing it for people that might be confused on how it works or don't even know how it works at all. I thought of it myself, and like I said, I thought it was a really good way of showing how it works, and it really helped me to understand how herd management works. So yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so we're going to stick with the example for fallow deer. If you're grinding for a fallow deer super rare or a great one, whatever you're grinding for, we're going to stick with this for example. I'll go on to other animals like a whitetail that it only goes up to level 3 and black bear that goes up to level 9. I'll explain that here in a little bit. There'll be timestamps and I'll separate them. But so let's start with fallow deer, right? So they come from levels 1 to 5, all the males. And on each map, they have an average male level. So what I mean by that is the males can be levels 1 to 5, and if you added up every single level from all the males and you divided it by the number of total males on your map to get the average, it's going to fall somewhere between 3 and 4. Okay, it might be 3.2, it might be 3.8, and it might be 4. It could be any of those. It's going to be somewhere between 3 and 4. Okay. So let's say, for example, we have a map that only has 7 fallow deer. And we're just doing this for this example. Obviously, your map doesn't have 7 fallow deer. It has a lot more than that. But let's say for now, there are 7 male fallow deer, right? And these are the levels of those fallow deer. Okay? So you have 7 on your map. 1 of them is level 2, 3 are level 3, and 3 are level 4. Okay? So if you find the average of this, you add up all these numbers, which equals 23, and you divide it by the total number of fallow deer, which is 7, and that is going to get you 3.3. Okay, so that is in our average right here, this number up here. So we're good there. That's in our average. Okay, and let's say as you're grinding, right, you kill all 7 of these deer, and they have to respawn. Okay, let's say this 2 responds the same as a 2. Let's say this 3 responds as a 2. And all of these deer respawn the same. So the 3, 3, 4, and 4. Okay. Because this 3 respawned as a 2, it has to make this game. The game has to take this 4 and respawn it as a 5 to meet this average. Okay. So if this 4 was to respawn as a 4, and we added all these numbers up, it would equal 22. And then if you divided by 7, it would be something like 3.1 or 3.2. Which does not equal that. So that is why this 4 has to respawn as a 5, because then if you add all these up, it equals 23, and if you divide it by 7, then that's 3.3, and that matches our originally set average. So that's pretty much how herd management works. So that's why you want to keep these smaller level 2s, because it forces the game to turn these 3s and these 4s to 5s to keep that average that your game is set. And like I said, I think everybody's map is different. Yours could be 3.3, it could be 3.8. It's somewhere between 3 and 4, and no matter what, the game has to respawn that average. So like I said, if this 3 turns into a 2, this 4 is going to have to turn into a 5 to keep the average of 3.3. And this is the best way I figured out how to explain it. Like I said, I've never seen anybody else do it this way. I thought of it myself, and I thought it was a really cool way to visually show you with numbers how it works. And I was really confused with herd management when I was first trying to learn it. I couldn't really find any good videos on people explaining it well. But yeah, like I said, this is a great way to show it. I think it really makes sense. But yeah, let's get into the other species. So whitetail's a little bit trickier because the males, they only go from level 1 to 3. So the ranges aren't whole numbers, so it's a little bit more confusing, but it still makes sense. So like I said, the males come in level 1 to 3, and the range of the average male levels is somewhere between 1.5 and about 2.1. So that's where the range is. Your map will obviously fall somewhere in there where the average is. But let's use the same thing we did for fallow deer. Let's say you have 7 deer on your map, and let's say these are the levels of those white-tailed deer. And let's say you already have a diamond on your map. You have that 1-3. Okay. So same thing, you're grinding, you kill all of these, and this 2 respawns as a 1. So all these deer are going to respawn the same except for this one. This one will become a 3, and then now you're going to have 2 diamonds on your map. So that's why herd management is so good, because just because it's one level 2 respawned as a 1, it's going to make this 3, or make this 2 turn into a 3. So it works the same, like the opposite way too. If this 2 respawns as a 3, it's going to make this 2 respawn as a 1. So that's why when you're shooting your zones, your non-main shooting zones that you want to keep your level 2s or your level 1s in, depending on what animal you're hunting, you want to keep those low levels in there, because you're not going to be, they're just going to be on your map. It doesn't matter if you spook them or whatever, you're not going to be shooting them. So then your main zones are going to take these 2s and they're going to turn them into 3s. Black bear, red deer, and even the new red fox, they come in levels 1 to 9. And I have seen a level 1 black bear before. They are very rare, but the level 1s, they can spawn. It is extremely rare, but they can. But anyways, the males, the average levels between them is going to be somewhere between like 5.5 and 7. So that is going to be your average for your map. And with these averages, these aren't average, like this number right here, these numbers, they're not released to the community. It's just numbers that I believe are the average of your map based on what I've done with adding up my males and dividing what I've seen. And I've played the game since 2019, and it's been a fun journey, and I've learned a lot. And like I said, this is just from my research. This is what I believe the averages are, but that's besides the point. So let's get back to our example with the 7 animals on your map. So let's say you have level 4, level 5, 5, 6, 7, 7, and 8. Okay. And same thing, you add up all these. This is 9, 14, 20, 27, 34, and 42. Okay, so add them all up, you get 42. And then you divide by 7 because you have 7 males. And that is going to give us an average of 6, which fits into this range. So that works. Okay, and let's say for this example, you don't kill all the animals. You just kill these 3, and you kill these 3, and you keep this one alive. Okay, so obviously this one is going to respawn as a 6 because you didn't kill it. Or it's not, excuse me, it's not going to respawn at all because you didn't kill it. Let's say this 4 stays as a 4. Let's say this 5 turns into a 4, and this stays as a 5. And this 7 turns into a 7. Okay, this 7 could turn into an 8, and then this 8 would stay as an 8. Or this 7 could stay as a 7, and then this 8 would turn into a 9. So if you add up all these numbers, this is 8, this is 13. I'm just like, this is 8 plus that, and then this would be 19. This would be 26, 33, and then 42. Yeah, so that equals the same as that. So we're good there. But yeah, like I said, this 7 could either turn into an 8, and then this 8 would stay as an 8, or this 7 can stay as a 7, and then this 8 would turn into a 9. No matter how the respawns work, if you add up all the numbers, it just has to equal your original value. So we'll say this turns into a 8, and this is an 8. Okay, and let's say this time you kill these deer, and you leave this first one alive. Okay, so this is obviously still going to be a 4 because you didn't kill it. And let's say this 4 is still 4. This 5 stays as a 5. Let's just say this 5 stays in 5. But this 6 turns into a 4. So we went down 2 levels. This 7 could stay as a 7. And these 8s, they could both turn into 9s. The reason being because we took away 2 levels here. So because we subtracted 2 levels, we have to add 2 levels somewhere. And we add 1 here, and we add 1 here. And 1 plus 1 is 2. So that's how the average works. And if you would add all these up, this would be 8, 13, 17, 24, 33, and 42. Yeah. So we're good there. And yeah. So like I said, it can go, it's complete random. I believe it's how the game processes the respawns, which one comes first. But even respawns can go up. This 4 could turn into a 5. You know, it works both ways. But obviously, like I said, your map is not going to have 7 animals on it. It's going to have hundreds. So just because, so let's go back with our original number from over here. Just because this 5 turns into a 4, if you kill all these animals, it's not going to turn this 8 into a 9. When you grind each rotation, you're probably looking for about killing 20 to 30 deer or animals, whatever. So it's going to take a lot of these. It's going to take like the majority of these ones all going down or staying the same. So if it went like this, then maybe this 7 would turn into an 8, and then this 8 would turn into a 9. I don't know what, if you add these up, it might equal, let's see, 12, 17, 23, I believe. Yep, 23 and 31, and then 40. So yeah, like I said, obviously on your map, you're going to have a lot more than 7 deer, but it's going to take a lot of the deer you kill going down in their level to make 1 go up, just because you have so many deer. And just because one of those 5s turns into a 4, it's not going to take the average we had, which is 6. It's not going to take it down to a 5.5 just from one deer. It's going to take it down to a 5.999, you know, because there's so many deer. So that's why you have to kill a lot of deer, or it doesn't have to be deer, it can be any animal. That's why you have to kill a lot of them and hope they all spawn as a lower level, so you can get one of those higher levels to spawn greater. And it's a complete chance thing. It's the same as rares. It's just chance. It's not as rare as rares. They do go down a lot, and they do go up. It's 50-50. You can go either way. But yeah, this is the best way I could figure out how to explain it. I hope I made sense explaining it. I enjoy doing it. I plan to make more videos explaining how the game works in the future. But if you guys like the video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the future.